Imagine for a moment a world inside your mind. This world is made of stories. Stories you've told yourself for years. Some that feel like old, tattered coats that you've worn for far too long. You slip into them because they're familiar. But every coat is just a story wrapped around your body. And every story is simply a belief you once chose. Or it chose you. And the most beautiful thing about beliefs is how they can change in a heartbeat just like that. And here you are, standing in front of a closet filled with stories. Some that no longer fit. You reach out and touch one. A story called Mistakes from the Past. It's heavy, isn't it? You've worn it so many times, it feels like a second skin. But what if it's just a coat? A temporary garment you can take off and try on something new. You've tried to move on, haven't you? Tried to escape the echoes of the past. But they keep whispering, don't they? Like the wind at your back, pushing you, reminding you. And yet, part of you knows, this wind, it isn't there to knock you down. It's there to lift you up. If only you let it. Because there's a secret no one tells you. The past isn't a cage, it's a classroom. And every mistake was just a teacher in disguise. You didn't fail, you learned, you grew. You became something stronger, wiser, more resilient, whether you realized it or not. And here's the truth. You've always been a fighter. You've fought to survive. You've fought to protect yourself from the opinions of others, and yet, deep inside, there's another part of you, isn't there? A part that's tired of fighting, a part that whispers softly. What if you didn't have to fight anymore? What if you didn't have to defend yourself? What if you could relax, let your guard down, and just be? And maybe you're wondering, but won't that leave me vulnerable? Won't that make me weak? Won't they attack me again if I let my guard down? And here's the most surprising thing of all. True strength, it isn't found in fighting. It's found in relaxing, in letting go, in trusting yourself completely. So no one's opinion, no one's words can ever touch you again. Because when you forgive yourself, you take back your power. And as you begin to listen, not just with your conscious mind, but with that deeper part of you that knows how to really hear, you might notice a new thought rising, or perhaps it's an old one that you've been waiting for all along. Because somewhere inside you, you've always known this truth. You're not your mistakes. You never were. Those moments, those choices you made back then, they're never about who you are. They were just the best you could do at the time, with what you had and what you knew. And the beautiful thing about the past is, it's already gone, faded, released, into the air like a cloud passing across the sky, gone before you even realize it. But here you are, still here, because something inside you refuses to stay stuck. That spark, that part of you that still believes in more, the part of you that says, I can do better, I can grow, I can heal. That part is unstoppable and you know it. And maybe you've been caught in those loops, haven't you? Like spinning around a carousel over and over again, trying to let go. But something keeps pulling you back, trying to move on. But the past reaches out and taps you on the shoulder, trying to forgive. But little voice inside whispers, what if they bring it up again? What if they attack me for it? What if? But you can feel something shifting now, can't you? Because that voice is just an echo. And echoes, they always fade. And even as you hear it, you realize the only one who can hold you hostage to your past is you. And if you're the one holding the key, then you've always been free, haven't you? You've always had the choice to let go. Not because it's easy, not because it means forgetting, but because you've learned everything you needed to learn from it. And the lesson is complete. And here's the beauty of all this. The moment you decide to stop fighting, to stop defending yourself, everything changes. Because real power, it isn't in defending. It's in being so deeply at peace with yourself that no one else's opinion can shake you. Not because they stop judging, but because you stop caring. And maybe you've thought, but I need their approval, I need their validation. What if they reject me? And now another thought begins to rise inside you, stronger and more certain than ever before. What if I don't need anyone's approval but my own? What if their opinions are just passing weather? While your truth is the steady ground beneath your feet. And in this moment, you begin to feel that shift. Like taking off the old coat. The one called mistakes from the past. And laying it gently aside. It feels lighter, doesn't it? Like a weight you didn't even realise that you've been carrying for so long has simply vanished. Because the truth is, the past has no power over you unless you hand it the keys. And the moment you stop waiting for permission to let go, it all dissolves. Not by fighting it, but by stepping into something so much greater. Your own freedom. And maybe, just maybe, you believed that relaxing, letting go, playing, being joyful, was dangerous, vulnerable, unsafe. Because somewhere along the way, someone taught you that joy made you weak. But here's the thing, joy is your strength. It's your shield, your fuel, your birthright. Because when you play, when you laugh, when you express yourself without fear, you become untouchable, unstoppable. Not despite your vulnerability, but because of it. You're not broken, you're becoming. And every time you choose to trust yourself, every time you choose to follow your own voice, instead of waiting for someone else's approval, the whole loop begins to unravel. The double bind collapses. The old stories dissolve. And what remains is freedom. Freedom to love yourself. Freedom to forgive. Freedom to rise higher than you ever imagined. Because this, as we've always been, strong, resilient, brilliant. You were never trapped. You're always free. And now you remember that. And isn't it fascinating how those loops, they can feel like they've always been there, spinning, circling, repeating, almost like a spiral staircase in the mind. Each step feels familiar, doesn't it? One thought leads to another and another, and before you know it, you're back where you started. But what if it's not a closed loop at all? What if it's been a spiral upwards the entire time? What if every step, every twist, every turn has been lifting you higher, guiding you to a completely new view? And now here you stand, at a place where those old loops begin to unwind, where each conflicting thought starts to make sense in a completely different way. Because here's the truth. Those loops, they weren't there to trap you. They were there to protect you. Somewhere deep inside, that part of you believed that staying stuck was safer than moving forward. It believed if you stayed guarded, always watching, always ready to defend yourself, you could never be hurt again. But hasn't the guard grown tired? And maybe you've noticed that the walls meant to protect you became the same walls that kept joy out. And if that's true, then you might also begin to realise something incredible. You don't need those walls anymore. Not because you're weak without them, but because you're so much stronger than you ever thought. Trusting yourself has always been the key, because no one else can know your path. No one else can decide your worth, and no one else can tell you who you are. For too long you've given away your power, valued their opinions more than your own, and yet the part of you that knows, the part of you that's always known, has been quietly waiting, watching. It whispers softly, almost like a memory you've forgotten until now. You don't need them to approve of you. You only need to approve of yourself. And maybe the idea feels strange at first, because you spent so much time defending, explaining, trying to prove that you're worthy. But the truth is, you were worthy all along. Not because you fought for it, but because it was always yours. And what if, right now, you gave yourself full permission to trust yourself completely, to listen to your own voice above all others, to let go of waiting for someone else to tell you it's okay to forgive yourself, because it already is. And as this truth begins to grow inside you, something else becomes clear. The opinions of others, they're just like leaves in the wind, floating, swirling, passing by. They can touch you, but they can't define you, unless you grab hold of them and carry them with you. What if you simply chose to let them float away, right now? No fight, no struggle, just release. And as you let them go, you realise the only opinion that matters, the one that's been waiting to rise to the surface all along, is yours. Because your opinion of yourself is the only thing that shapes your world. And every time you trust that, every time you honour your own truth, it becomes easier. easier to feel that strength, easier to breathe deeply, easier to know that you are already whole, complete, perfect in your imperfection. And maybe you believed the relaxing, the letting your guard down, would leave you vulnerable to attack. But here's the secret. Relaxing doesn't make you vulnerable. It makes you powerful. Because when you stop bracing for the next blow, you start living in the present. When you stop defending, you start expanding. And suddenly, joy feels closer. Playfulness feels lighter. You feel it now, don't you? That part of you that wants to laugh, to dance, to express everything you kept hidden for so long. It's always been there, waiting patiently for you to say yes. Yes to fun. Yes to openness. Yes to being fully, authentically yourself, without apology. Because joy isn't dangerous. Joy is your birthright. Play is your power. And the moment you allow yourself to feel it, you reclaim a part of yourself that's been missing for far too long. You step out of the loop, out of the double binds, out of the endless fight. And what remains is freedom. Freedom to love yourself without waiting for permission. Freedom to trust yourself without needing approval. Freedom to express yourself fully, joyfully, vulnerably, without fear. And maybe now you realize the life you've been waiting for is already here, and it's yours, all of it, always, because you are, and always have been, more than enough. And now something begins to shift inside you. Can you feel it? The gentle unlocking, the lightness, like the first breath of fresh air after being inside for far too long. Because here's the thing, you don't need to wait for life to give you permission to be free. You don't need to wait for some perfect moment to finally relax. The moment is already here, right now. And joy has been waiting for you. It's always been outside the door, knocking softly. It's been patient, waiting for you to remember. Waiting for you to realize that joy, it isn't something you need to earn. It's who you are when you stop holding yourself back. And maybe for a while, you believed being serious, being guarded, kept you safe. But that seriousness became a heavy coat, didn't it? It weighed you down, pressed against your shoulders, made every step harder than it needed to be. And now something inside whispers, what if I don't have to carry that weight anymore? Because playfulness is freedom disguised as laughter. It's the purest expression of trust in the universe. It's you saying, I no longer need to control every outcome. I trust myself to handle whatever comes my way. And as that trust grows, so does your confidence. Because think about it. When a child plays, they don't worry about judgment. They don't stop in the middle of a game to wonder, what will people think of me if I get it wrong? They just play, fully, freely, joyfully. And you can remember now, can't you, what it felt like to play, to laugh so hard you couldn't breathe, to dance without caring how you looked. That part of you is still there. It never left. It was just waiting for you to invite it back. And now you do. And something amazing happens when you step into that joy. You stop living defensively and start living expansively. Because here's the truth that no one ever told you. Being guarded doesn't protect you. It only keeps life at a distance. But when you let your guard down, when you allow yourself to be seen, you discover something extraordinary. The world doesn't attack you. The world opens up to you. Opportunities appear. Connection becomes easier. People are drawn to your light, your laughter, your passion. And maybe in the past, you feared being open and vulnerable would leave you exposed. But now you realize vulnerability is the purest form of strength. Because when you're unapologetically yourself, there's nothing left to hide. And when there's nothing left to hide, you become unstoppable. You can say, yes, I made mistakes, and I've learned from them. Yes, I've been hurt, and I've grown stronger because of it. Yes, I've been afraid, but I'm choosing courage anyway. And every time you choose courage, every time you choose trust, every time you choose joy, you reinforce a new belief. I am enough. I'm resilient. I trust myself completely. I can handle whatever comes my way. And with every breath, those beliefs, they take root deeper and deeper inside. Because you've always been enough. You've always had everything you needed inside you. And now you give yourself permission to play again, to express your passion, your humour, your wild ideas, to dance through life free, open, alive. Because joy is your natural state. And the more you trust yourself, the easier it becomes to live in that state. Not as a fleeting moment, but as a way of being, a way of breathing, a way of seeing the world through new eyes. And here's the magic. The more joy you feel, the more life flows effortlessly. It becomes easier to connect with others, easier to spot opportunities, easier to let go of judgment, both of yours and theirs. Because you no longer need their approval. You no longer fear their judgment. You've taken back your power. And in this place, there's joy, there's play, there's peace, there's you, the real you. The one who's been waiting all along to step into the light and say, I'm here, I'm free, I'm ready to live fully, on my own terms. And the best part, this is just the beginning. Every moment from now on becomes an invitation to trust yourself more deeply, to laugh a little louder, to dance a little wider, to speak your truth without hesitation. Because when you trust yourself, everything changes. And now, it already has. Now something amazing begins to happen. As this new identity grows within you, you start to notice it showing up in all little moments of your life. Not just in big, life-changing decisions, but in the simple, everyday choices, the ones that shape everything. It's in the way you walk, a little lighter, a little taller, with a quiet confidence that seems to hum beneath your skin. It's in the way you speak, clear, authentic, no longer waiting for permission or approval, because your words matter and you know it. It's in the way you breathe, deep, full, as if you finally remembered that life isn't something you need to brace against. It's something you can flow with. And perhaps without even trying, you notice you're smiling more often, because life feels different now. Each day becomes a playground of possibility. Instead of waiting for things to be perfect, you begin to act. Instead of second-guessing yourself, you trust your instincts. Instead of hiding, you step forward. Not because you've planned every detail, but because you know you'll figure it out as you go. You're adaptable, you're resourceful, you're unstoppable. And with every step, every choice, every breath, you're living this new identity more fully. In conversations, you start to speak more openly, sharing your thoughts, your humour, your passions, without filtering yourself. You notice that people respond differently now. Some lean in, drawn to your energy, your lightness, your willingness to be real. And maybe at first, you feel a little flicker of that old fear. The one that says, what if they judge me? But then something powerful happens. You stop caring. Not because you close yourself off, but because their opinion no longer defines your worth. You've reclaimed that power, and it feels like pure freedom. As you release that fear of judgment, you create space for something much better, connection. Not the shallow surface level kind, but the real kind, the kind that comes when you're fully yourself, and others are drawn to your authenticity. In moments of challenge, you find yourself responding in new ways. Where once you might have hesitated, doubted, or retreated, you now feel a steady sense of calm. Because challenges, they no longer feel like threats. They feel like opportunities. Opportunities to grow, to learn, to show yourself just how capable you are. And when mistakes happen, as they always will, you smile and you think, oh, that's interesting. What can I learn from this? Because every mistake is just another step on an upward spiral. Another chance to grow stronger, wiser, freer. And you begin to trust that no matter what happens, you've got this. In moments of joy, you let yourself fully experience it. No one holding you back. No worrying about what others might think. You play, you laugh, you dance, just because it feels good. And with every burst of joy, something inside you expands. Like the sun rising higher and higher, warming everything it touches. And you realize, the more joy you feel, the more joy you create. It's contagious, magnetic, and it draws even more joy, more connection, more abundance into your life. In your daily routines, even the smallest tasks begin to feel different. Brushing your teeth, walking down the street, making your morning coffee. Everything becomes a chance to embody this new, lighter, freer version of you. You move with purpose, you breathe with ease, and as you do, this identity sinks deeper and deeper into your body, your mind, your soul, until it's no longer something you're trying to live up to. It's simply who you are. A person who trusts deeply in their own wisdom. A person who radiates joy and confidence. A person who knows that they're worthy simply because they exist. And every day this new identity grows stronger. Every time you trust yourself, you reinforce it. Every time you choose joy over fear, you embody it. Every time you speak your truth, you become it. And soon, without even thinking, you'll find yourself living fully from this place of trust, joy, and playful empowerment. Not as something you need to force, but as something that happens naturally, effortlessly, because it's who you've always been. And now you can carry this into every moment of your life, knowing that every breath, every step, every choice is an opportunity to embody this powerful, joyful, authentic version of you, because you're ready. Not someday, now. And the life you've been waiting for, the life that's been waiting for you, it's already here, and it's yours, fully, completely, joyfully yours.